Once courted as a global peacemaker, South Africa is now ignored, sidelined, and openly mocked on the world stage. How did Africa's geopolitical powerhouse fall this far so fast? Just a couple of decades ago, South Africa was regularly invited to mediate and settle international conflicts. Today, our leaders speak and the world barely listens. The dark reality is that when it comes to geopolitics, South Africa has become completely irrelevant on this world stage. For years following the political transition of 1994, South Africa was perfectly positioned as a neutral power strategically located at the southern tip of Africa, a liberal democracy nestled right in between the Western and Eastern powers of the world. Moreover, Nelson Mandela was globally revered as an icon of peace and reconciliation, positioning South Africa perfectly as a potential mediator in any conflict. Mandela was also consequently appointed as the mediator in the historically significant 1999 Burundi peace process, following one of the largest mass genocides in human history. During the reign of his successor Thabo Mbeki, South Africa's diplomatic profile in conflict management was only raised. Yet, when Cyril Ramaphosa recently proposed that South Africa should act as negotiator in political peace talks between Russia and Ukraine, nobody really took him seriously. What happened? Well, stay tuned because in today's video I will highlight how significant South Africa's decline on the geopolitical stage truly is. The global order South Africa once relied on is quietly collapsing. The age where international law restrained power is giving way to a harsher reality. Nations with economic weight, military reach, and industrial depth now act first and justify later. Those nations who did not develop these instruments are reduced to spectators on this game. South Africa, of course, falls squarely in the latter camp. Years of economic stagnation, the erosion of our industrial capability, and the absence of any credible military power have left this country unable to exert any form of influence beyond merely issuing statements. The United States' rapid extraction of the Venezuelan president under the leadership of Donald Trump has amplified the helpless position in which South Africa and other countries such as South Africa now finds itself. The operation itself might have been brief, but its very implications most certainly were not. It signaled a world in which commerce, territory, and strategic resources are defended by force where necessary, and where legality matters only if it can be enforced by said military. South Africa is poorly positioned for this new environment around the world. The moral authority earned during the democratic transition of the 90s has been steadily squandered through blatant racial discrimination at home and complete silence on Russian aggression in Ukraine and openly aligning with authoritarian regimes abroad such as Iran. South Africa has refused to progress along with the rest of the world and seems stuck in a bygone era that is increasingly passing away more and more every single day. Across Africa, the pattern is familiar. Contested elections, coups, and armed conflicts are met with lofty resolutions and little action. International law is invoked, but no one is willing or even able to back it up. The lesson is blunt. The post-World War II era is officially over, and sovereignty without enforcement is only theoretical. This means that in the new world we are entering, the question of whether Washington's actions in Venezuela are justified or legal by international law or not is ultimately besides the point to all of us. The underlying message is unmistakable. Power is being exercised unapologetically, and it will be exercised more often. Under Trump, the United States is signaling a willingness to act decisively when it sees its own interest threatened. Without rebuilding economic strength, industrial capability, and strategic credibility, South Africa simply will continue to become increasingly meaningless in the world of international relations. South Africa's decline on this world stage has been a long time coming, but it has been drastically accelerated by Cyril Ramaphosa's reckless and destructive term as President of South Africa. What once was a reputation built on Mandela's iconic moral authority has been replaced with diplomatic isolation and economic pressure from its own key trade partners and a perception at best of geopolitical confusion of this country. One of the most striking illustrations of this collapse is the ongoing legal and diplomatic firestorm around the MTN Group's historic operations in Iran, a period when Ramaphosa served as the executive chairman. United States courts are allowing anti-terrorism claims against the MTN Group to proceed, alleging MTN's ties to Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps contributed to attacks on United States soldiers, and Ramaphosa himself, well, he is directly implicated in this terrorism according to the United States of America. South Africa also recently hosted joint naval exercises with Iran, China, and Russia in Cape Town, a move that triggered diplomatic tensions with Washington and internal opposition critiques about undermining neutrality and global standing as a country. This cumulative effect of these decisions under Ramaphosa has been to undermine South Africa's credibility, invite these economic penalties that we are already seeing, such as tariffs and aid cuts, and isolate the country from key diplomatic partnerships. What was once a respected voice in global governance has become a case study in how misaligned foreign policy priorities can reduce a middle power to a diplomatic afterthought, something for which Ramaphosa is only responsible personally. The facts are undeniable. Under Cyril Ramaphosa, South Africa, once a geopolitical powerhouse on the African continent, has been completely and utterly reduced to a negligible pariah on the international stage. Today, this is nothing more than a dying nation, an imperialist fossil of the past and a construct that barely holds together. A country that has absolutely no internal social cohesion to speak of cannot constructively impact even its neighbors, never mind mediate geopolitical conflicts on other continents. In a recent video, we highlighted how even when taking into account the raw economic data, Cyril Ramaphosa has been by far the worst president this country has ever had. Check out our economics report by clicking on this link appearing on your screen. And do support our work by becoming a paid member of the Willem Petzer Group. Only with your help are we able to continue growing and going on with this channel. Goodbye and God bless.